This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the WWE Universe, Triple H, Evil Skull King of Kings. I managed to get this figure off of eBay. I was following a few different ones, and finally one of the sellers went ahead and sent a discount offer, and I jumped on it because it was within my price range that time. So Triple H is part of Wave 1, I believe, as well. As we take a look at the back, we have the artwork at the top. Wielding the sledgehammer of supremacy, the nefarious Skull King seeks to conquer the Ring of Grayskull and rule over each and every superstar of WWE Eternia. On the back, we see that he can, in fact, remove his helmet and twist into powerful battle positions. He does, of course, also have his wave mates here as well. I'm not sure, but I think I might actually have the Ultimate Warrior in one of my boxes too. I'll have to look for it. I don't think I have either one of them though. Oh, of course, this one's going to come off really hard. Ow. By the way, kind of funny to note here. We've got this mark here, imported into the EU by Mattel Europo, BV, Guana, whatever, Nederland, which I think this is the Netherlands. So this figure went from the United States to Europe, back to the United States, and then into my collection. Here we have his mini comic and information. We can see, I don't know who that actually is back there because the name is covered by the one label. No, but we can take a look. Sting. Triple H, the evil Skull King of Kings. Height 6'4". Weight 255 pounds. Superstar powers. A cerebro assassin and game master who uses fear to lead. Foreign objects. The Skull King crown and sledgehammer of supremacy. The great battle has begun. A darkness threatens to consume WWE Eternia as the faction of evil superstar rises from parts unknown to control the balance of power. But the heroic superstars accept the challenge to defend the planet and determine who are the masters of the WWE Universe. Triple H found the Skull King's crown, but Sting guards it. If you want the Skull King crown, you'll have to go through me. If you insist, Sting, you will not get in the way of my destiny. Arr! Now nobody can stop me. Ha 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 ha! Time to play the game. And then, of course, we have the figures on the back here. I'm pretty sure I do have that Ultimate Warrior somewhere. I don't think I have Sting, and I don't think I have Finn Balor. Though I definitely would like to find them at a reasonable price if I could. Here we have his accessory. Which... Alright, let's just rip the bag open here. It's actually pretty hefty, to be honest with you. No rubber bands and no stupid little plastic tabby things. Excellent. Well, let's go ahead and put his hammer in place. I'm just going to note this right now. The hammer is awfully thick around it. It does not look like it's going to hold in his hand very well. And this was a problem with a lot of the original Origins figures too, where the weapons handles were just a little too big for their hands and would often fall out. I don't know if it'll happen while I'm talking to him, but I half expect that the hammer will pop out while he's just standing there. But let's go ahead and take a look at the figure as it is. we'll just take another quick look at the hammer. Got a nice little skull logo at the top. Like I said, it's a pretty hefty piece. And yeah, it actually might weigh more than any other weapon in the Origins line of figures or the Masters of the WWE Universe. So that's cool. Figure wise, his head comes off, his helmet comes off. I mean, it's an Origin style figure, so the head comes off too eventually. The crown looks pretty cool though. They definitely put more details into his crown than they did in the Skull Queens, I would say. She just has a little bit of blue, whereupon they got the black and the purple going on there. They even colored in his nose bit. So, and actually, even just looking at it, the detailing itself and the textures is a lot better too. Articulation wise, his head can move around a little bit. It's on a ball joint. Between his hair and the armor, though, it kind of holds it in place. He can look up and down. Arm goes up, can spin around. It is, of course, hindered by the harness. You can bend his elbows uh, around less than 90 degrees, or would that be more than 90 degrees that way? Either way, it doesn't go fully 90, and part of that may have to do with the armband, but you know, it's also standard. We've got the waist swivel. We have legs can go up, kick forward about yay far, kick back about yay far. The knee can bend, but again, the knee pads that are added do hinder some of that motion. His leg can spin around at the boot cut, and his foot can also spin around, and it hinges up and down. What's really nice is that he has a cloth cape in the back. I do prefer the soft goods capes compared to generally the hard capes, or I guess the soft rubber capes. Let's take his harness off real quick. And he's got a harness that's designed so that it doesn't just break in the back. You have to actually go all the way around. So in most likelihood, you would be doing that via taking his waist off. Looks like there's some kind of glue here on the cape. Probably from when they glued the cape to the armor here with these parts. Sadly, it does look like the paint on his face is not particularly well done, if you can see that. The beard is missed in a lot of spots down there. If we bring in our Terraclaw one to compare it to, I mean, it's a little light here, but it's definitely really light on the Skull King version. Otherwise, figure-wise, aside from the accessories, they are the same thing. I had initially thought that maybe he had a different hairdo attached to him because of the armor and stuff, but no, the armor just sits on top of the hair. Everything else is the same, aside from the equipment. You can, of course, wear the Skull King crown without the armor, like all Origins figures. He pops apart. There's no point in mixing and matching his feet, but you could do that if you wanted. And hey, look at that too. Whoops. You can color match him because he's got the same skin tone as his other one. Unlike, say, Tila, where when they made the second version of Tila, they gave her a much more pale skin tone. Trying to get that harness back in place is kind of a pain in the butt, though. Oh, shoot. And of course, you have to put the head on before you put the harness back on because, again, the hair, it kind of gets in the way. Although I wonder. Actually, let's take a look at that, shall we? Can the head sit on the armor? Anybody else wonder whenever that sound pops if it's going to break something? Well, the hair is a softer plastic, so you can put the armor or the head on top of the armor, and it still kind of flows around it. And the helmet can even go on there, but it looks really kind of silly with the hair on the sides there. Coming from the back, though, it's fine. Like, that doesn't look too bad. So, if you wanted to, maybe you can figure out how to. Could try to put the front bits underneath and still keep the hair out the back, maybe. So we could do something like this and still have it look okay. That's not a bad look for that, having the hair flowing kind of out the back. I have to admit, the people working on the Origins and who worked on these did come in with creative ways of dealing with the harnesses. So overall, I definitely think I may have actually paid still too much money for the Skull King version, but I did want to add him to my collection, especially since, he goes along with Stephanie there. Which again, I don't know. Are these two actually married? Because in her comic, it mentions kind of a marriage between these two characters, but I don't know if they actually are in real life. So, and of course, you have to have the hero versus the villain. Again, actually, seriously. Oh, take a look at the thickness of these handles here. This thing looks like it's almost twice as thick as the axe, and they all have the same size hands. So that's what I was talking about earlier with how hard it is to sometimes get them to hold on to these things. Because that was one of the issues I always had with the Power Sword in He-Man's hand when it's the full version. And of course, because this is the WWE, we get to have them fight in the ring via stretchy bands. And they both lose. And I, the Skull Queen, am the ultimate winner! Ha 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 ha! Anyway, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this. Peace and love.